Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Graham Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now. There's nothing that I want as much as I want you. A psychic hit me, told me we got shit to do. We ain't got time like we used to, but we still shine like we used to, and we still grind like we used to, and we cut ties when we need to, but I need more you on me and me on you. I can be the one that takes you there, you and me in ecstasy, on this magic ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, you can hit this, don't be scared. Baby, you can hit this, don't be scared. It's only gonna get you high. Come over. Come be alone with me tonight. All these emotions, it's washing over me tonight. Get ready, y'all, right here, right now. Iced up, bite down, baby, lock in right now. I want it right here, right now. Cuddled up on the couch, motorboat, baby, swerving around, slow-mo, coming on my blouse. I want it right here, right now. Come over, come be alone with me tonight. Switched up the friggin' vibe on you. Gotta give you a little bit of Beyonce and then a whole lot of Graham. Happy new week. Happy podcast for the week of August 14th through the 20th, 2023. We started off with Beyonce's Virgo's Groove. If you are not following the Renaissance World Tour, or you have not listened somehow, if you've been in a cave and you have not listened to the Renaissance album, I highly encourage you to do so, because Virgo's Groove, actually, top to bottom, whole album, there's no skippers at all. But Virgo's Groove right there, it is sexy, and it speaks on some things that are relevant to this week, especially when it comes to not having the time that we used to. Having to cut ties when we need to. Those are two lines that really stuck out to me because, especially at the top of the week, these are things and themes that need to be discussed. Now, this week, overall, we've got a heavy load. Top of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I really like Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday have the makings of a good time, but there might be some repercussions in the name of headaches, hangovers, and oops, I went too hard. So there's the makings of a great weekend. Just beware of how hard you go, how hard you celebrate, how late you stay up, because that is very much in the makings of the astrology. At the top of the week, we've got Venus retrograde making a second connection. We will talk about that in a little bit. We have the Sun squaring Uranus. So he's amplifying, shedding light on what Venus has been doing with Uranus. As you know, last week there was a Venus-Uranus square. That was the second of 3 to come with her whole retrograde story. We know that Uranus is the change agent. He's also the community builder. He's working in groups and collaborations. And he loves to he loves to be an earthquake. He loves to set a bomb off. He loves to give you, like, to plant an idea in you that would change everything, because Uranus is meant to change the status quo. When Uranus steps in, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, although with Uranus you're never indifferent, because it's always something that's like, wait, I can't unsee that now. I can't unthink that now. I can't not do something about it. Uranus comes around and really shakes things up. He's the rebel. He's the rebel of the zodiac, and it says, hey, you've been under a rock, so it's actually time to get you out from under that rock. And in order to do that, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z uncomfortable things. X uncomfortable thing, Y uncomfortable thing, Z uncomfortable thing. And you're meant to be nervous. You're meant to be asking yourself a lot of questions when Uranus is involved. So this kind of energy is wrapped up, especially at the top of the week. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday have quite a bit of layering to them. And then we have the Leo new moon. And Leo new moons are exciting. They're exhilarating. They can be scary in the fact that when we have a new moon, it's the dark phase of the moon. So all things Leo, courage, pride, strength, love, passion, we can feel the opposite. And the new moon, though, this is how the universe works with us, how the universe talks to us, and how the universe creates containers for us to call in, plant seeds of intention, and commit to making those seeds of intention come to life, come to fruition. We have to take care of them over 2 weeks and 6 months. But that with which we feel a lack thereof, or like it's not available to you, is in fact available to you. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to the planetary breakdown. I do want to tell you, make sure you tune in to the very end of this podcast, because I am going to now incorporate key takeaways from each and every week. Okay, I'm going to give you a list of things to do and a list of things not to do this week. And if you are a note taker, which I know a lot of you are, because I've been talking with a lot of you over the last week or two, I know that you are over there with your planners and your agendas, pen in hand, like, Graham, give it to me. Give it to me, because I'm mapping my week out with you. And I appreciate that, just so you know. All of you that have reached out, whether you're leaving a review, trust me, I'm looking at reviews all the time. That is the best way to influence what you want. If you want something changed, if you want more of something, if you don't want something, that's the best way. But some of you clients, I know, we have a direct line of communication, and y'all know how I feel about you. And you all with the emails and the DMs and everything, it's been great to talk with all of you. Podcasting can be a little bit of a lonely little thing. It's just me in here and this mic. I mean, Rocket, comes up and puts his head on my lap sometimes, but besides that, he's not talking back. So be sure you tune in to the end of the podcast, because I do want you to have those key takeaways, and that's going to be built into the new format that moving forward with the weekly podcast. Okay? Daily podcast. You'll see. There's going to be things I'm doing with the Daily Dosers. Another level up, another layer of what we're going to be doing there. Just, if you're a Daily Doser, just keep an eye out. I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to be tapping you. Now, let's just, before we get into, hold on, I'm looking at my notes to make sure. because I feel like I'm moving. Oh, let me give you a little bit more of like the overall vibe of this week. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, we have just had the Sun-Venus retrograde conjunction, aka the Venus star point, which we talked about in length last week. This is a total vibe switch for all things love, desire, relationship, and I just want to build on this whole desire thing. Okay, when you think Venus, a lot of times most people will get it in terms of it's love, it's balance, it's harmony, it's relationship. Because when you think Venus, you think Aphrodite, right? That's the goddess of love. But the desire thing is that which, like, what are you pining for? What are you wanting? What, like, deep within you, what is the truth of what you're after, of what you're trying to achieve? That's Venus. Venus is your connection to that which you want. Okay? And then there's also a financial component to Venus, right? So, how do we make money? In relationship to another person or another entity. So it can be your relationship to your business. It can be your relationship to your job, or directly a relationship to you and the person who pays you. So when we talk about Venus changing energies from an evening star, a Venus Hesperus in astro jargon, into a morning star, a Venus Lucifer, she's a light bearer. Right now, we can't see her. And so when Venus goes dark, I have my air quotes up, all of those things are kind of up for reevaluation. Venus is retrograde, so all the RE words that we famously attach to Mercury retrograde are all up, but from a Venusian standpoint. So love, balance, harmony, relationships, your connection to that which you want, your connection to money, however that source flows to you, that's all up. And Venus is dark. I believe it's like, I always like muck this up in my brain. I believe we can't see her for like 2 weeks after the conjunction, and then she comes back into visibility in the morning. So for that span of time, reevaluate all of those Venus themes, and now realize and take with you that for the next 8 to 10 months, while Venus is in this mode, she's in go mode, okay? She is an active baby. She's assertive. So in order to get what you want, you're gonna have to be more assertive. You're going to have to take the reins and take more action. The early bird gets the worm when it's Venus Lucifer. Okay, so just if you are someone that is a little bit more slow to action, I really, really want you to challenge yourself and me as your spiritual coach. I want to challenge you to make micro-dose worthy changes, okay? It doesn't have to be a total 180. All of a sudden, you are a completely different person. That's not it. Microdose your change, okay? What's a little shift? What's a tiny, tiny little shift that you can do? Maybe you go from a weekly podcast listener to a daily doser. I'm giving you an example that is relevant to this business. And now, instead of just the general weekly energy, you're getting daily energies. What to do, what not to do, right? Or what to expect, what not to expect. Maybe it is, here's something, I'll share something with you. When I take showers in the morning now, most of the time I take them at night because I'm very active during the day, and I don't like to get in bed all musty. But on the occasion that I take a shower in the morning, because there is so much science around this, and like being like a dopamine rush, and just overall just good for the nervous system. I will stand in a cold shower and I will hoot, I will holler, I will scream, I will laugh. Inside I want to cry. But I'll do it for the rush and for the nervous system reset. And I'm telling you, it changes the days when I do that. It changes my energy for the entire day. I am not even, this is not hyperbole. This is for real, for real. It's got me questioning whether or not I just hop in on every morning and just do like a 30-second to a minute hit, however long I can stand it, of cold water just to like get that rush. Okay, so that's a little change. The rest of the day it goes along as it does, but I have more energy. I'm more excited. I find that I'm not pining after like the second, third cup of coffee. It's more like, no, I'm ready. Like, okay, I'm banging these things out faster than I normally do. I've got the energy to go ahead and do the workout mid-afternoon, or if it has to happen late at night, I do it late at night. Okay, so how can you, and if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. How can I microdose change this week? Remember, micro, small. Just make a small change. And even if you make one small change this week, you are already working with the stars in a way that is supported. Okay? And keep this in mind. This Venus, I'm going to do my best to remind you that Venus is in her morning star mode as we move along for the rest of the year, because the bravery, the courage, the strength, she's carrying the Leo vibe with her. So even as she gets on the other side of this retrograde at the end of September, as she moves into other signs, she is still in go mode. So when she gets to Libra, you're going to have to be more assertive within your relationships. If you're single and trying to figure love out, you're going to have to step outside your comfort zone in order to work with the energy that is available and present to you. Okay? So if you are someone that's a little bit more shy, if you are someone that's like, well, the man has to come to me, you can have that energy. That's, I think, all right. But I think what's going to be more attractive to you is really being clear and upfront about your wants, needs, and desires, right? It's not about someone mind reading. It's not about someone like figuring you out. And this is also probably going to change the nature of what you find attractive. You're going to be more attracted to a go-getter, someone that is more assertive, right? But I would encourage you to meet that energy. Don't this isn't, Venus, Lucifer is not, she's not submissive, okay? She's more like, oh yeah, you want to come at me like that? Baby, armor up, because I can hit you right back. I can hit you right back with that assertiveness, that bravery, that courage, that strength. If you want to get to her, yeah, you better be willing to work for it. I don't care how pushy you are or how, whatever. It makes sense. So I'm not telling everyone go out there and be dominatrixes and all of that. I mean, hey, if that's your thing, by all means, you go do your thing. But this is more like owning and honoring what is sexy, what is desirable to you, and what you're willing to do to get it, and how you're willing to be to get it, how willing you are to be a little bit more vocal, be a little bit more physical, be a little bit more badass when it comes to all things Venus, all the themes that we've already discussed. Okay? All right. News board. Really, really quick. And then we're going to hop into the moons. News board item is just, I want to thank all of you that have participated in the Google Forms that I have shared. Man, I can't even tell you. The Venus retrograde that's currently happening, and I'm just sharing personal experience so you kind of understand how these things can show up. Venus retrograde is happening in the sign of Leo, your astrologer. I have a Leo Venus. So my Venus return is also happening 3 times, and it is taking place in my 12th house. 12th house is a creative house. It's a spiritual house. It's kind of ties up loose ends, kind of, it's been having me revisit dynamics and connections that I need to just kind of like tie up with a nice little ribbon and sail off and say bye-bye. And anything within me that I need to be aware of, how am I showing up and presenting myself, right? And how connected to a spiritual practice am I, which lately been on point. So I've been in the middle of a humongous rebrand. Okay, so basically reverse engineering drunk astrology from the inside out. So as far as like, you won't be experiencing anything from this whole process. It's more of an internal, the back end systems, logos, colors, design, all those things. Plus, I am in a business program where it's just like opening up everything and I'm seeing everything from a completely different angle and a perspective, learning more about business because yours truly was just a raw creative when it came to my education. As an English literature major, I repelled anything that wasn't like nerdy and wordy, and anything else that I had to take like prerequisites or things that were required just to get my degree. I was just like, whatever. I'm smart. I'll just skate by and still get good grades. And that's what I did. So I like the one business class I ever had. This was back in like 2005 or 6. I mean, I skipped it all the time. I'd go to Subway and just like draw and dream about dancing. So anyway, I'm learning all about business and everything, and so the course has been challenging me to connect with customers, connect with clients, connect with people around me, and really get insight and details around about me, about the business. And I have shared the Google form with people on social media. Some of you I have reached out to directly, and thank you for filling that out and answering those questions honestly. It is seriously helping me as I am at the beginning stages of creating a suite of services and products that actually align with what you want and what you need, and how I can use astrology and other cosmic tools to serve you better. So thank you. And then Daily Dosers, I sent an email to you asking for or what you think my 3 superpowers are. So thank you to the Daily Dosers that have replied and sent that to me. You are helping. You just don't even know. This whole process and this Venus retrograde, I knew going in that it was going to be beautiful, exhilarating, and terrifying all at the same time, just because it's a very long, prolonged Venus return. Like just kind of think, you hear Saturn return, it's whenever the planet comes back to the sign it was in when you were born. And that only happens with Venus every 2 years. Every year. I'm thinking Mars. Forgive me. Mars is every 2 years. Venus is every year. it's all of that energy it comes up, and the 12th house is, it can be that like beautiful and terrifying experience, but it's all happening in such an awesome way. So I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate your time and energy. Everyone that tunes into this podcast, that follows Drunk Astrology, that's on the newsletter. It just really speaks volumes to me, of the impact that this business has had, this brand has had, especially since 2020, which is when that's when I got more serious. 2018 to 2020 was more like a creative, like free for all, and then 2020, I just knew like now's the time. So it just it really means a lot. This business is growing. This business is changing, and I'm excited and terrified at the same time. But hearing from you all, like real words from real people, those that have been impacted by just everything that I've offered in the past, everything that I'm offering right now, it means a lot. So that's the news board. Let's shift into the moons, and then let's get out of here. So Monday, the moon it begins in Cancer, but it switches into Leo very, very early in the morning. So we've got a Leo moon Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when the moon switches into Virgo. So now a Leo moon, Monday, Tuesday, half Wednesday, and including that Leo new moon, it's very much me, what I want, what I'm passionate about, wearing my heart on my sleeve. All those themes are up. Virgo moon, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday. I really like this Virgo moon, especially on Thursday. But then Friday, we have, Friday's a really busy day. Virgo moon's tasks to do, get organized, prioritize, form your list maybe on Monday, Tuesday, so that you're ready and you know exactly where you want to spend your energy Thursday, Friday. Saturday, the moon goes into Libra. Now we're all about relationships and partnerships. Virgo moon have to do it all on its own. Libra is now more like, I need some help. I need to do this in tandem, in collaboration with somebody. It's reaching out and saying, hey, can I get a little help? Can I get a little assistance? And just remember, the weekend does have a little bit of like a party vibe to it. Just beware of how far you go, because, well, we'll talk about it. Or maybe this will just be the first thing we talk about planetary-wise. On Sunday, we have a Sun-Neptune quincunx. You all know those quincunxes are annoying. Neptune is fog, brain fog, lack of clarity. So showing up like this early morning on Sunday could be those waking up with a headache, those waking up not feeling too well, and with a Libra moon before and during Sunday. It could just be a little going too hard. Hopefully it's not stress related to a stressful relationship. I'm hoping that's not it, but just keep that in mind as you go into the weekend. Like, all right, I don't want to wake up like totally trashed on Sunday. However, that might show up for you. Do some healthy prevention on Saturday. Now, Monday, Venus retrograde has her second trine to Chiron. Now, this is follow-ups, reconnections, and you get to go back from June 29th. Well, actually, I'm going to give you a range. The first connection was June 29th, so I want you to go back to June 27th through July 1st. There was a connection made, a conversation, a relationship, a story, in some way, shape, or form is now coming back from that time. What do you need to do from that time? Who do you need to connect with, especially when it comes to creative endeavors? On Tuesday, Sun-Uranus square at 7:35 p.m. Now, Venus has already been doing this. If you go back to on or near July 2nd, now see how the top of the week is all this like re words. On or near July 2nd and last Wednesday, August 9th, Venus has been making these squares. She's been making changes. She's been, especially when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to groups, when it comes to work, relationships and dynamics, relationships and partnership dynamics. Now the sun is coming to bring all of that to the forefront. What changes need to be addressed? And with this whole story, because Venus is retrograde, is wrapped up in here, is a separation needed in order to move forward. So this can be really exciting energy. And anytime Uranus is involved, is exciting in its unpredictability. But, in the case of the Maui wildfires, Uranus can show up somewhere like that. And anytime that something that big is happening in the macro, there is something happening individually too, right? In the micro. So somewhere, where do you feel the wildfire? Likely this week, the light gets shown on your own personal wildfire. And the question really is, what kind of changes are necessary to move forward? Like this, maybe this is an exhilarating, exciting change, but there comes wrapped up in it a need to separate or alter a dynamic with a relationship, a job, etc. Wednesday, busy day. Mars has a trine to Uranus. So so take a look at that. Sun has a square to Uranus, activating an exciting change or an unpredictable change that may require some kind of separation or alteration of a dynamic in some way, shape, or form. Wednesday, Mars puts plans with it. Mars moves with the change. So there's something very positive, a great day to make a plan, to make a change, to move in something new. Mars is in Virgo, so there's work. Uranus is in Taurus. Work, money, finances, all wrapped up into there. So positive professional changes take place and actually move. They can take place before Wednesday, but there's motion on them on Wednesday, on or near. And just this week, let's just say this week. Also on Wednesday, Mercury has its first aspect that kind of sets the tone for Mercury retrograde. Because he's in his retrograde shadow, next week he's going to actually station on the 23rd. The quincunx to Chiron is the first of 3. And now that means that Mercury's retrograde, that we're just coming up to, has a little dose of self-doubt, a feeling of I'm stuck, or I want this XYZ, or I want fill in the blank, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to begin. So I want you to take this as a learning opportunity, and I want you to ask yourself, what am I learning about myself this week? This is a note to make about this week. What am I learning about myself? Can I find the silver lining? Okay? Because we know these quincunxes are annoying as all get out. They, there's usually some sort of like surrender to what is, so if it's like, I don't want to think this way, or I don't want this to go this way, or I'm just like feeling stuck. Okay, surrender to like, okay, all right, I feel stuck. Well, am I stuck? Oh, because this is Mercury we're talking about. You got to get inquisitive. So if you kind of lay the armor down, lay the stress down, lay it down, say, okay, I'm stuck. I know me. I don't like that. So I'm like, well, am I stuck? No, because I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Oh, well then what's making me feel stuck? Oh, wait a minute. Because this needs to change. Oh, you need to do X. Oh. Okay, so if I did X, then what? Oh. Well, I don't know because I haven't done it. So if I just try this, I get some motion to it. And then, universe shows up, law of action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Well, now I'm not feeling so stuck now. It just means I just have to do this one thing. Get inquisitive, okay? And really look for the silver lining, because there is a learning curve and learning opportunity wrapped up on Wednesday with this Mercury Chiron quincunx. Then there's the Leo new moon at 23 degrees and 17 minutes of Leo. Take a look at your chart. If you don't have it, use the link in the show notes. It'll take you right to my birth chart calculator. Find Leo, find any planets, find the house that Leo rules or house is, and look for any planets on or around 23 degrees and 17 minutes. So really like 21 to 25 degrees. The Leo new moon is creating a just launch pad for manifesting. This new moon is coming at a very close square to Uranus. So radical change is wrapped up in this new moon. The role you want or something you want is coming in conversation with a expectation from others, or there's change implemented by someone else or another group, a community, a team. So you just be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. A little Lion King for you, since it's Leo energy. So yes, that new moon, coming in, baby. And now, let's just wrap it all up. I have gone way too long. You know that I love to talk, and I like to be thorough. This week's takeaways, I hope you stuck around, because here are the 3 takeaways. There's actually 6, but there's 3 do's and 3 don'ts this week. So get your pen, if you haven't already, and write these down. First thing to do this week: follow up, reconnect at the top of the week. And if it's not you and you're waiting for something, expect there to be some kind of follow-up or reconnection at the top of the week. Do, number 2, manifest on Wednesday. Strength, courage, pride, love, passion, all of those things wrapped up. What do you desire? What do you want? How are you going to do it? How are you going to make it happen? Remember, you're making a contract with Team Universe. Third, to do. Make necessary changes in the name of growth, and don't and remember that separation or a change in dynamic may be necessary. Now, for the don'ts this week. First don't stick to the same old, same old. It is time for new. Second don't. Do not resist necessary change. Lean into that mother trucker. Third don't for this week. Don't look at what's not working. Don't focus on what you lack. Instead, call that very feeling, call that very reality in. Call it in under the new moon. That's the idea. Last thing I'm going to throw in a fourth do. Finish your vision board. Remember that vision board for the Aquarius full moon? You got a few days here at the top of the week before it needs to be signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, that's it. Have a great week. I'll see you in your inbox. I'll see you on the Instagrams. And I hope you have a phenomenal week. Talk to you soon. Bye. This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.